Every summer, the highlight of the cycling season takes place, the Tour de France. 3 weeks of spectacle in France and the surrounding countries. More than 180 elite professionals compete against each other in teams. They are supported by highly professional staff, cheered on by thousands of fans, watched by millions on television, and they earn impressive salaries. How different things were for the very first riders of the Tour de France back in 1903. In this video, I will tell you the story of the very first Tour de France. The idea of a multi-day stage race originated with Gilles Lefebvre, who worked as a sports journalist for the newspaper L'Auto, where he mainly covered rugby and cycling. Together with his editor-in-chief, Henri Desgrange, he set to work on organizing the very first edition of the Tour de France. The goal of creating this race was to bring more attention to their newspaper, and they succeeded without question. The paper sold like hotcakes. At that time, the Giro d'Italia and Vuelta a España did not yet exist, but there were already other major races, such as Liège-Bastogne-Liège, Paris-Roubaix, and Paris Tours. Most races consisted of just a single stage with one winner. The tours from then looked very different than nowadays. The first edition had a total distance of 2,428 kilometers. That may sound manageable, but wait until you hear that these kilometers were spread over just 6 stages. A single stage averaged more than 400 kilometers. Riders spent roughly 14 to 18 hours on the bike, which meant racing deep into the night. After each stage, there were 1 or more rest days to recover somewhat before the next one. A 400-kilometer stage in today's Tour de France is almost unimaginable. Half that distance is now considered a long stage. And not only were the stages much longer, the riders also had to complete them on extremely primitive bicycles. The bikes were 3 times heavier than modern ones and far less responsive in handling. They had only 1 or 2 gears, and proper brakes were certainly not included. Comfort was also non-existent. The saddle was basically useless, but even worse was the road surface. While today's tour organizers try to ensure riders race as much as possible on well-laid asphalt, this was a rarity in the 1903 Tour. Only in major cities could you occasionally find some asphalt, and even then, it was nowhere near the quality you might be used to, except perhaps for people living in Belgium. Riders mostly raced over gravel roads and cobblestones, often filled with potholes. The Tour de France was also an individual undertaking. While today you ride as part of a team, in 1903 you could rely only on yourself. There were no team cars or directors following you, so if you got a flat tire or damaged your bike, you had to repair everything yourself. Around 60 riders started the first Tour de France. After the first stage, more than a third had already given up, mostly due to stomach problems or food poisoning. In the end, only 21 riders finished the tour. The time gaps in the general classification were enormous. We're not talking minutes, but hours. The difference between first and second place was no less than 3 hours. Maurice Guérin was the first Tour winner in 1903. He dominated the race and also won half of the stages. Before becoming a cyclist, Guérin worked as a chimney sweep. Because he was not very tall, he earned the nickname Le Petit Ramoneur, which means the little chimney sweep. After winning the Tour, Guérin said the following about the race: "I must confess that this race is the hardest thing a human being can imagine." Maurice Guérin returned in 1904 for the second edition to defend his title. Unfortunately for him, he was disqualified after being caught taking the train. Thank you all for watching. Feel free to let me know in the comments what you thought, and remember, you're welcome to subscribe if you enjoyed the content.